Hey, everybody, and welcome to Book Chat. I'm your host, Author Vivian Moore. I hope everybody is having a wonderful weekend. Uh, it's what we wait for, it's what we live for. We start wishing for the weekend on Mondays, but it is good because we need that break, in between to just get us through to the next week. And it's sort of like sort of icky today. It's not really raining hard. It's just like a light sprinkle, but it's cloudy and it's getting dark, and it's pretty much been this way all day. So today was a good day to stay at home, if you didn't have anywhere to go, and read a good book or watch movies, binge on some movies, binge on some books, if necessary. But I hope that everybody had a great week. And I hope that truly that you're having a great weekend despite the weather outside. I hope that you're ready for today's show, because I'm ready for today's show. And you know how we do it every single Saturday. I want to give out the URLs. So I will, while I collect my material, it'll give you a chance to get your material together, get yourself something to write with and something to write on, and then we'll get right to this. So, you guys ready? All right, let's get to it. Okay, so the first URL, of course, is to my Spreaker account, and that is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian Moore. You can also check me out on Facebook. My Facebook URL is https://www.facebook.com/author Vivian Moore. You can also follow me on Twitter, and that's God's Property 46. That's my handle. And you can also check out my Instagram page if you want to. It's mostly just dedicated to the show. It's where actually I upload all the information for the weekly shows. If you want to check that out, that is https://Instagram.com/God's Property 51. And as I said before, my website has been updated now. And you can check it out at https://vivianmoore.wixsite.com/author Vivian Moore. And also, if you want to look at today's blogs or look at past blogs, you can go to Blogger, which is vivianemore.blogsite.com. And also, you can check out today's show on iTunes, and also you can check it out at iHeartRadio podcast, and all that information is on the Instagram page. All right, so if you guys are ready to get to today's show, I am more than ready to get to today's show. I don't want to hold you longer than necessary, so we're going to do this. You guys ready? Okay, here we go. So the title of today's show is Reading is Fundamental, and the topic is acquiring knowledge through words. Now, to my greatest horror, I've discovered that too many people, in fact, they hate anything associated with reading, whether it's the morning paper, contracts, textbooks, threads on social media, the Bible, or just anything that's dealing with reading in general. They would rather have their toenails yanked out whole than pick up any sort of reading material. Now, this is just so beyond me because I don't understand it at all. Somebody please help me understand why this is this way. And it's a travesty, and it's a major disappointment. You know, we haven't even gotten to the disadvantages yet of not reading. So let me start right there. Not reading is something, although we try our best, is really next to impossible to accomplish, because you have to read. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's directions, if it is measurements, if it is a text message. Believe me, if it has words, you have to read them. So I just don't understand how you can accomplish not reading something, because it's part of our daily cycle, whether we realize it or not. We rush through important documents, rarely paying attention to the fine print, or scan through every other line, leaving out all of the details. And this is not good on so many levels. I can't tell you how many people have got hoodwinked into something, or got scandaled out of whatever because they didn't read the fine print, or got hooked into something or locked into a deal that they really didn't know what they were getting themselves into because they failed to read the fine print. And that's important to me. That's the most important part of any document, any contract, is the fine print, because that's where you're going to get most of your details. It's in those little small lines that are at the bottom of those contracts. But anyway, let's just switch gears here for a second, because this is what I really want to discuss, which is reading to acquire knowledge. Now, Hosea chapter 4, verse 6 states that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Now, even God thinks so, and he said it first. Reading is fundamental, especially if you want to become a writer or already in the process of becoming one. You can't even be a mediocre writer without first obtaining some knowledge and wisdom. How do you get it? That's the question. And the answer is by reading. And just anything that you can get your hands on, you should read it. I know what you're thinking, but it's not true, because my thoughts were these exactly, that reading books will not lead to, that reading books will lead to the possibility of you plagiarizing someone else's work. Now, this could happen if you are a very bad writer and you just have no writing skills at all. Or, cheating may just be your thing. It's what you do best. It's cheating. So in that case, then it probably would be better if you didn't pick up someone else's work and read it, because you would be using it, posing it, trying to use it as your own. But actually what it does is it builds your skills, and it exposes you to many styles of writing, voices and genres, when you do allow yourself to enjoy a great book by any of your favorite authors, whether they're your favorites or not. You should always read and read and read, because just let me tell you, you won't go wrong if you do that. But when I first became a writer, I stopped reading. I didn't read anything. If it was an author's book or something like that, of course I would read magazines, I would read my Bible, I would do things like that. But if it was a book, I wouldn't read it, because somewhere in the back of my mind, I just had this thought that if I read these books, that those words would stick with me, and it would make me steal someone else's words. And it just frightened me to death that could happen. But, because reading is something that I love more than a big, juicy burger and fries on the side. I love it more than watching Saturday morning cartoons when I was a kid. And I loved it more than going outside on a summer day to sit in the warming rays of the sun. Go figure, but, my insatiable appetite for knowledge, it began shortly after I learned to read at the age of 3. Now, I started out reading Dr. Seuss, of course, and of course I was hooked and fiending for the next story. And, and that just fed my hunger even more. And, and soon I graduated to another level. But the library And when I tell people this, they stare at me like I'm crazy, but the library was my favorite place to visit as a child. I used my library card like it was a Visa or any other major credit card because it gave me access to what I truly loved. And the lure of books it was just like anticipating a trip to the candy store. And I didn't realize that my love of reading would be so far reaching, because it led to my career as a writer, an author, a blogger, and of course, radio host. Now, learning means growing. Let me say that again. Learning means growing. Reading is the key to the fundamentals of knowledge. Not only that, it is inspirational as well encouraging. I thank my mother every day for teaching me how to read. And so, and I continued that tradition because I taught my children how to read. And I'm currently teaching my grandkids how to read. And, for those who are, they haven't really grasped the concept yet of reading well, by themselves. They still need help. But then I have several grandkids that, they knock it out the park every single time because they're just at the top of their game. They're like their granny, they're reading and reading, major books, not just elementary books, but they can read just about anything. But what my mother realized and what I realized was that reading is a gateway to learning how to process information, and it helps to formulate speech. It allows us, our kids, to use their imagination. And what it does is it makes us better thinkers. It makes them better thinkers. And some of the greatest writers of all time, without any doubt in my mind, they read other authors' work. I know they did. And I just want to use William Shakespeare as an example, first of all, because I watched Hamlet today. And, Mel Gibson is one of my favorite actors, but also Hamlet is one of my favorite stories written by William Shakespeare, along with Romeo and Juliet. I think those are the two top, and maybe Macbeth. Maybe those are the top three that of my favorites that he did that I really, really love. But anyway, he was a great author and a great playwright, whoever lived, hands down. And, and not to mention, if you wanted to learn by reading his books and watching those plays, how to write about tragedy and unrequited love, because I'm telling you, he was the master of that, as well as having those masterful plots in those stories. Nobody does it like William Shakespeare did it. And, and you should definitely add his works to your reading list, because it's worth reading, to getting those books and sitting down on a day like today. Just go online and you can order them lickety split just like that. And you know what? If reading books is not your thing, or if you don't have time to actually sit down and read a book, then audiobooks is what you should do. Because let me tell you, audiobooks is like the best thing that they ever could have come up with, because you can read them on the go. If you're in your car driving, if you commute to work, you can listen. You can even listen while you're at work. That is the greatest thing ever, to be able to do that. It's just like listening to music. But if you don't want to visually see the words on the pages, and you would rather listen to someone describe them to you, then that's even better. But still, you're reading. You're obtaining knowledge through listening to someone read a story to you. So please, 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 for all of my non-readers, please buy an audiobook, either for yourself or a family member. Please do that. I know we all believe that when we first started, started scribbling down our ideas, we wanted our style of writing to be original. Because I was like that too. I was like, well, I don't want to copy anyone else's style, because, I don't want to write like anybody else. I just want to write like me, because I felt like, I was exceptional. And I'm not being cocky or anything like that, but everybody thinks so when they first start writing. They think that it's the best thing since sliced bread. But you get those wake up calls along the way, and it sort of puts you in your place. But still, but it's okay. What I'm trying to say, it's okay to borrow from a selection of writers, and to just to fill your own repertoire and to increase your prowess as you acquire knowledge from reading. We all want to be the best that we do, and the bridge to success is building your skills through reading. Remember, we are what we read, and our writing can only excel when we capitalize on the benefit of reading. All right, folks, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed those little tidbits that I offered you today. I hope that you found something rewarding from them, something useful from them. And, and please do go out and if you didn't listen to the show live today, if you listen to the recorded version, please like it. Because I would like to know if you like the show. I would love to know if you're actually listening to the show. But I would like to know also if you liked it. Just tell me, send me a little message, whatever is fine. Just a few words. That's all you have to do. But it's my goal to to feed you spiritually and with these words to encourage you. The best way I know how, and to uplift you, just to inspire you. And, sometimes when you read other authors' books, that's exactly what happens. You get inspired. And I think that that's the most important reason to read someone else's books, especially if you are an aspiring writer, is to get inspired, because you need that. We all need that. Even seasoned writers, we need to be inspired, in order to write. We need to get our juices flowing and our imaginations, the wheels of our imaginations, just turning. So, I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope that you got something worthwhile from it. Well, guys, tomorrow is worship day. I always say this. So I hope you're planning on going to church tomorrow and taking a family member with you, taking a friend with you, taking someone who may not know the word with you to listen and to just fellowship, because that's important. Also, I wanted to say that we're trying something different with our Bible study at church. We're doing it not necessarily online, but we're doing it. We're doing it in a conference call type of way. And so we had our first run last Wednesday, and I must say that it was a great success. And so, I don't think that we'll do it this way all of the time, but I think it's a great idea to still have access to Bible study in one form or another. And, we have a lot of members that are elderly. We have a lot of members that work long hours. So this was a way for them to be included in the Bible study, because I know a lot of people hate to come in, when something is already in progress, to come in, and interrupt everything. But if you're doing it over the phone, then, no one ever knows that you're there until you say something. So, there's no interruptions. So, I hope that more people will join us, as we continue to do the Bible study, this new way. And I don't know how long we will do it, but, I'm just happy that we are doing it. And also tell somebody that you love them, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only day that you get to do that. I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye. Thank you.